The great thing about BTME is that it's not an event that lasts from 9 till 5. There's many, many wonderful events that go on into the evening. And I'm at a Rigby Taylor event now, and I bumped into an old friend of mine, Alan Ferguson, who's got a fantastic new job, because you've probably got what amounts to be the biggest job in sports turf.
Yeah, I think it is, Scott. Many people have described it as that, and it certainly feels like that.
Yeah.
You're working for a global organisation.
Well, let's just tell people what the job is now.
So I'm now the senior pitch management manager for FIFA.
Wonderful. I know you were saying earlier, I couldn't believe it, that you're the first person in this particular job. Football's been going on for a long, long time.
Yeah.
They've never had a you.
No, and that's probably the biggest surprise about the whole thing. But thankfully, the recent restructure of the organisation threw up that position had to become permanent in-house, and I'm delighted to be the first guy to be given the chance to bring it together.
But it's a job now which, if you think about it, if you let your mind think about it, you'd wake up in a cold sweat in a darkened room, because it's a huge, huge job.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you, I have done that in some places in the world. Brazil being the most recent one, like when I rocked up there 6 weeks out from the competition and saw where we were and knew where I wanted to be. We were a mile.
You were saying there was bags of whatever that didn't have labels on them.
No, they weren't, and that's how they rock. That's their turf world.
Yeah.
It's not as sophisticated or as well organised as what it is here in the UK. So that's probably the biggest challenge, is to get around how the locals actually work and try and improve that.
Now, you can't condemn people or look down for, but that's the way it's been. But what you've got to try and do is try and get some uniformity and raise the standards. But you're only one man, Alan. How on earth are you going to manage to do this?
Well, I'm the only one man inside the organisation, Scott, but I've got a fantastic group of consultants who work with me through iTurf and Labosport. So I've got a wider pitch team who we pick up as we need to going into the tournament. So I can assign the guys I could be working on the 4 tournaments simultaneously if I need to.
Yeah.
And I know they'll report back to me. So as long as I could, at the end of the day, make the right decision for the organisation, these guys will provide me with the right information, because you can only be one place at a time.
You were saying in your wonderful presentation that you gave, and it's been great to get an opportunity to watch it, you've got, is it 7 or 8 tournaments, and they're ongoing? Every year there's something happening.
Yeah, so we'll always have at least 4. We'll never have less than 3. But to have them, it's like plate spinning. You know, you get one of them up and running, and the worst thing, and it has happened, and it will happen again, is when they overlap. You know, because the football calendar is very crowded, and it's not possible to schedule them as I would like to schedule them throughout the year. So this will be a classic example where we'll have an overlap in the summer between the Olympics and the women's football in Panama.
Now, going back, how did your job come into being? Was it, you say it was a new regime, a new decision-making process that went in? Somebody must have sat back and thought, where we're missing out is having someone to,
I mean, it's not rocket science. If you organise the biggest football tournament on the planet, and the pitch is the thing that's key to that you should have a pitch manager of some description.
Yeah.
So Restructure identified that. And as I said in the presentation, in the 2018 finals, I met the guys who are now my bosses, 2 lovely German guys, and we got talking, and it just went on from there, and here we are today.
Now, I know every year has a big event, and we're sitting here at 2020, but I think a lot of people's minds will look forward to 2022 in Qatar.
Yeah.
Now, again, through the presentation, it was a wonderful presentation, and you were looking at all the stadiums there.
Yeah.
The particular problems they have there, they are trying to address them. They've got their turf laboratory they've set up.
Yeah.
Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so they've set up a turf research centre in Doha through Aspire and the Sports Turf Research Institute, and that's helped to answer many of the technical questions around what grass they use, how much light is needed in the stadiums. It's been invaluable already, and it will continue to throw up a lot of valuable information and insight as to what we need to do in the stadium. So, wonderful idea, complete out-of-the-box thinking, and it's something I'll certainly look to repeat in other World Cups, because it works.
It works. Now, you're based in Ipswich, but the world's your oyster. You must spend more time in airports and on stadia around the world than anybody else I would know.
Yeah. Scott, I've flown on airlines I didn't know existed, and I've been in airports I didn't know existed. So, it is what it is. We were in China just last week there, and we visited 8 cities in 9 days. It was a very intense schedule, and I had no idea how big a place China was until I made a 3-hour flight from north to south and went from -16 to +18. So
wow.
That's the sort of things we have now. So it's exciting, as I say, and you really do have to think on your feet.
Well, that's great. I'm delighted to have bumped into you again for the first time in a little
lovely.
while.
Yeah.
We'll keep in touch over the next while. But
sure.
thanks for giving us a little bit of your time. Get the jacket off and have a couple of drinks. And look forward to seeing you again soon, Alan. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Scott.
Okay, cheers.